I spent 2 days figuring out all the details of this postcard. It's very, very interesting. It has a little bit of mystery. It is from World War II, so keep watching if you want to find out more. So if you guys watched my last video of my stamp collection back from 2012, you'll know that this postcard was found. And I tried to read it, really hard for me to read. I wasn't sure what it said. But now I actually have the transcript. I spent a few days, 2 total. I've asked some people to read it and give me their opinion on what it says. So I'm just going to read it to you guys. So, up here, so this is who it's from. It says Private Olin D. Hefner. Second, might be battalion there. Don't know what that says. 2-7. Fort Eustis, Virginia. Alright. So, Fort Eustis, Virginia was a military base in World War II. It is located here. So now we know that this letter was sent from Private Olin Hefner from Fort Eustis, and he was sending it to Hello Hattie. Originally, I thought that said Hottie. It's actually Hattie, Hattie. I guess you were surprised to hear from me. I would have wrote Georgia, but I did not know her address. Give her my address and tell her to write me. Answer, and I think it says friend Olin. All right. And then we find out that this says Miss Hattie Putman, Spruce Pine, North Carolina. All right, so I don't have a house address, I don't have any of that, but we do know it was sent to Spruce Pine, North Carolina, which is located here. Now, once it got to Hattie, I'm assuming she wrote this down here in pencil, which it says Stark General Hospital, Ward 20, Charleston, South Carolina. And for those of you who don't know, Charleston, South Carolina is located here. So now we have a mystery, right? So who is Private Olin Hefner, who is Hattie, and who is Georgia? So I've done a lot of research, like I said, and I think I have a few answers, but not all the answers we actually want to find out. So I went online and looked for Hattie Putman, and this person needs to be located, of course, in Spruce Pine, North Carolina in 1943, and the only Harriet Putman I could find from Spruce Pine, North Carolina was actually from Ancestry.com. I'll put the link in the description. And she was born 1884 and died in 1972. And that's all I could find about her. She's doesn't have much detail on her. So that's who this card was going to from Private Olin Hefner. Now let's find out who Private Olin Hefner was. So once I didn't find a lot of information on Hattie, I said we got to go to Hefner here. And as soon as I typed in Private Olin Hefner, his obituary came up, and I'm just going to read that to you guys, or part of it to you guys. Reverend Olin Hefner, 75, died Sunday, July 16, 2000, at Cape Fear Valley Hospital in Fayetteville. He is survived by his wife Mildred, daughter Gwen Hawley, and son-in-law Mike Hawley of St. Paul's. Stepdaughter Bree Hawley, 4 sisters, and this is where it gets interesting. Georgie Helene of Valdez, Georgetta Cox of Marion, Muriel McKinley of Marion, and Gail Marshall of Kingsport, Tennessee. And 2 brothers, Blake Hefner and Chesney, from Chesney, South Carolina, and Dean Hefner from Alta Pass. So, I don't know if you guys caught that, but one of his daughters is named Georgie. And I'm assuming that is what's written right there in this letter. He wants to find out his sister's address. And I'm assuming she was in the service as well, maybe as a nurse or something, because she's located in Charleston, South Carolina, and we know that their hometown was actually Spruce Pine, North Carolina. So, I'm thinking this guy was looking for his sister, her address, because she must have left for service and he didn't have it, so he must have sent it to Miss Hattie. I don't know who Miss Hattie is still. I don't know where that connection is. But that's still really, really interesting. But yeah, I just want to read this last part about Olin. Olin was a veteran of World War II, where he served in the European theater. He was awarded the Purple Heart for the wounds he received. He was a graduate of North Carolina State University and Southeastern Baptist Theological Seminary. So once he came back from the war, he didn't stop his education. He went to college, went to seminary. And this guy is actually pretty cool. I have a story that I want to share with you guys. That was actually from an interview from one of his friends. So the link to his obituary, I will put down the link or in the description below. And this link is from an article, a PDF about an interview that someone did from one of his friends, whom he had told the story to. So this is his friend talking about Private Olin Hefner. He served in Africa and then in Italy, and then he was in the army until the end. He told the story about Buchenwald and how he was one of the first soldiers and was sent up to arrest the camp commander. When he got up there, the commander was having dinner, a fine dinner, wine and very fine food, and a big table with lots of friends around him. Olin was an enlisted man, and he said, "You're under arrest. You've got to come with me." And the guy said, "I'm not going to surrender until I surrender to an officer." So they went on drinking and eating. So Olin got really mad, pulled out his pistol, and held it to the guy's head. His buddy, there were only two of them, said, "Olin, he's not worth your life. Don't pull that trigger." Olin didn't pull the trigger. He told the story in great presence, great attention, and great poignancy. So that's the guy who wrote this letter, Olin Hefner. He sounds like a pretty cool guy. He was sent to arrest a German officer, ended up pulling a gun on the German officer. I spent 2 days figuring this out. Let me know what you guys think about this. I don't know why there's kisses on it now. I'm not sure. I don't know if that was added later or before, but how this story ended up playing out, it doesn't make much sense. But as you see, this top right hand corner, it says free because soldiers didn't have to pay for postage when they're sending it to their families. But yeah, guys, hope this is interesting. Hope this is fun. Thanks for watching.